we have now filled out all of the junior bike conglomerates in challenge mode. And now I think it's time for us to move on to the expert class. And where I think it's time for me to change my racing gear again, because I can do that. And I'm going to change it over to something that I wouldn't normally do. Change it over to something that I think is, well, stylistic. Yeah, let's go with Shoei on the helmet. And I'll go with, yeah, I can go with those. And for the racing overalls, you know what? I actually really like that. That's actually not too bad. Unless there's anything else here that might work. I'll wear that another time. Yeah, I'll go with those ones. And for the racing boots, yeah, why not? I reckon that'll work. And I'll go with this one because it's more stylistic. So, changing my gear again because, well, I obviously have to include some style with my riding gear because I like doing that. And now, let's head over to Honda to begin the expert and superbike section of the challenge mode, where we've got the Honda NS400R, the Honda CBR 600RR, the CB 1300 Super 4, the CB 1300 Super Bowl Door, and last but not least, the CBR 1000RR. All of these, of course, are racing bikes. So, let's begin with this one. And we start off with one lap around Autumn Ring. I get the feeling that this is either a time trial or it is most likely another one of those driving missions where you have to pass the competition. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Well, at least I can say the competition is closer together in this one. And because I know this bike is very much mid-tier in terms of where it stands regarding horsepower, I should be able to control this bike with relative ease. I don't think these will be too hard for me to pull off. It's just a matter of me getting used to the bikes themselves, as I always learn how to do in this game eventually. I did not mean to do that. Anyway, pulled off the pass. I have passed both my opponents as I would have expected. And there we go. That's our first challenge done and dusted. And all that took me was 1 minute and 5 seconds. I don't think I have a replay saved of the Honda NS400. I might actually consider using this as a saved replay example. I am checking this to be sure. Yeah, I don't. Okay. I will save this replay because I can. Also because I figure it's more or less a precursor of the things to come in this game once we get down to the race events. So the Honda NS400R Racing Modified is now ours. And now we just have another, I think it's 4 more bikes to get, if I counted them up correctly. I'm pretty sure I did. And of course, as ever, going with the trademark 24 because obviously I like to stand out with my numbers. And we just have 3 bikes to go. As this time we are doing 2 laps of Suzuka Circuit to catch up to our opponents. I kind of figured Autumn Ring was going to be pretty easy. I reckon Suzuka is no doubt going to be quite similar to this, as our competition this time is a YZF R6 and a GSXR 600. Obviously, we are all technically racing bikes. I think we're pretty much in the 600 stroke. I think we're technically in the 600 stroke engine class or something. I think that's what we're part of. And this is going to take me very little time. And just like that, I have scored the CBR 600RR Racing Modified. And all that took me was 37 seconds. I gotta say, that was quick. That was very, very quick. I did not think I was gonna get that over with in as soon as 37 seconds. I think that definitely goes to show just how much less time it takes to collect all of these friggin' bikes with the expert and super bikes. And as ever, continuing with my same old number because I want to. And now there are just 3 bikes to go, as we now head on to the CB300 Super 4 for 2 laps around Fuji Speedway. From about, I think it was 1993 to 2004 when they ran this iteration, before they heavily remodified the circuit itself in 2005. I have mentioned that a few times. And we've got a Suzuki with a Kawasaki as our competition here in what's essentially a 2-lap sprint. Or in my case, pretty much a half-lap sprint for most of these, depending on how quickly I am able to get the fucking bike itself. And passing the Kawasaki up the inside, kind of knew that was going to be the case. Really had to get out of the gas for a moment there because of how wide the bike was getting. I really had to lower my throttle input to get it right. And now coming off the final corner, takes me a full lap to get here, but I get it pulled off, and it takes me 1 minute and 35 seconds. And now we have just 2 bikes to go. And then, once I am done with this, I can pretty much call it a day. Okay, so our competition was a Kawasaki ZRX 1200R and a Suzuki GSX 1400. That was our competition in race 3 of 5 in the Expert and Super bike collection of challenge mode here at Honda. And just like that, quickly fitting the number because, well, I really want to get this over with. So now we move on to the CB1300 Super Bowl door. And once again, we are back at Fuji, as I would have anticipated. But anyway, let's go. And this time we're up against a Yamaha XJR 1300 and a Kawasaki Zephyr 1100. As we're basically riding the same bike again, but this time we are riding the Super Bowl door, compared of course to the Super 4 that we were very much riding before. And up the inside, getting through there and wasting no time at all on the first opponent, and almost running wide there through the uphill section. And keeping my foot in the door, but also having to lift a few times so I don't fall off the bike or run wide. And at the moment, I seem to be handling this pretty well. And can I catch up to the leading Yamaha? And it looks like it's going to take the next corner for me to pass him. Possibly the corner after that, because I have hit the speed limiter 3 times. So in other words, I've hit top speed. And the bike is not really able to go any faster than that. But no matter, I will find a way through. Because that is what I do. And hey, what do you know? We're both wearing the same tracksuit. Well, we're both technically wearing the same racing overalls, I should say. Not tracksuits. But either way, took a bit longer to get that one done, but doesn't matter because we still have the bike. And now we just have one more bike to go. I'm honestly debating over whether or not I should save that replay. You know what? I'm not going to. I want to keep the first bike I rode in this episode as my thumbnail shot, so I think I'm going to stick with that. Just because, well, I want to. But anyway, the Super Bowl door Racing Modified is now mine. And as ever, putting on my distinctive number 24, as I so often do. And now it is time for our final bike in the challenge mode here at Honda. And that is the Racing Modified CBR 1000RR. As we have to finish one lap around Circuit de Comunitat Valenciana Ricardo Torno. In other words, we have to finish one lap around Valencia in 1 minute and 44 seconds. Something that I would imagine is going to be pretty easily done. But anyway, here we go. Let's see if we can win this bike. And I'm pretty sure we can. Even though this bike is still technically a super bike, the one thing I seem to keep forgetting is this is still a super bike, and under the circumstances, super bikes, even though the handling is improved, they are still very hard to tame around certain corners and bends. And that's pretty much what I now know from this. Especially since I had one lap that was going really well, and then once I got into the corner too hot, I basically binned my lap. And this was pretty much the corner where I binned it on my first attempt. Because I went into the corner too hot, and as a result, basically the rear wheel locked up, and basically I was more or less running myself straight for the wall. There was just no way I was going to avoid it, even if I tried to. And okay, I think I've got some time on the board now, so I think we should be good here, from what I know. Have we got the bike? Yes, we have. By 1.5 seconds, we have scored the Honda CBR 1000RR Racing Modified. We've got it. I'm going to assume this must be the same for all the other super bikes as well. But either way, there we go. We've collected all the Hondas in challenge mode. And now we just have to put on our honorary number, which is basically what I seem to do all the time. Anyway, number 24 as always. And there we go. So that's pretty much every single Honda in challenge mode now acquired. And we only added a total of 5 bikes to our ever-growing collection. But that makes it official. We've got all 22 Honda bikes now. And next time we will be getting the last 3 Kawasaki bikes. So let's now go and view our progress, since I figured now is a good time for me to do so. And then once I am done here, we can pretty much move on to the next episode, and then I'll call it a day. So we only gained a total of 5 bikes in the end of that, and we only gained a total of about, I think that's about 3% we've gained. Well, 2.8% to be more specific, but either way, things are looking good. And next time, we will be going after the last 3 bikes at Kawasaki, coming up next.